Okay. So what is the Rebbe saying? The Rebbe said that Chaf Chet, Sivan, is the power of Sivan. Sivan, Koach means power. Sivan is the month when the Torah was given. It's the third month. Chaf Ches is 3 times 3 times 3 plus 1. It's the inclusion. The 28th is the inclusion of 27. It reveals 27. Namely, the number 3 is a chazaka. The Torah was given in the third month. It was given to the third person. Moses was the third. Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, and etc. Number 3. All these 3s are repeated to show that God wants to be revealed here in this physical world permanently. That's the whole thing. To make a dwelling, this world should be a dwelling for God. What happens when God is revealed here? Then the potential of every human being becomes revealed. The potential to do good of every single human being will be revealed. The genius of every person has a little genius, a smile, a look, an attitude, something good to add to the world. Everyone has it. And there's no limit to good. And that's what Moshiach is going to reveal, what the Torah began to reveal, namely the essence of the Creator in the creation. A healthy, productive world. There's yeshno limud, there's a special learning, b'dorotenu, in our generation. What's a special learning in our generation? It's known that Kalev said Ale Nale. Okay, again, what did the Rebbe say before? It began when the Torah was given, but it really began in a big way when the Jews entered the land of Israel, because that was bringing this revelation of the Torah into our day-to-day life in a permanent way, in plowing and planting and dealing with money and dealing with the problems and difficulties and finding water and etc. That was in the land of Israel, physical land, dealing with it in a physical way. Was beginning the whole thing that Moshiach is going to really bring to the whole entire world. Bringing the potential, just like ground. Before you work on the ground, there's tremendous potential in the ground for growth. There's diamonds down there, rubies, emeralds, right? All these precious stones are in the ground. They're not in the sky or in somewhere. They're in the ground. Pearls, I think, are in oysters. But except for that, I mean, maybe you can correct me, but except for that, I think all of the precious stones are in the ground. The ground has tremendous, tremendous, tremendous potential to irrigate the ground. A lot of places in Israel were not workable, and they irrigated it. They developed new ways of irrigation, and suddenly they made the place, fertile. And that's the idea of Kalev. Kalev was one of the 12 scouts that Moses sent in, and 10 of them went bad. And Kalev and Joshua, they were good. Kalev said, Ale Nale, let us go up. And afterwards he said, the land of Israel is Tov Me'od Me'od, very, very good. Ale Nale, let us go up and up. Ale Nale Yarashnu Ota. 2 times going up. Like it says, Anuchi Alecha Gam Alo. Like God said to Jacob, I took you down, I'm going to take you down into Egypt, and I'm going to bring you up. Shezeh Kai, this refers on 2 different types of elevations. Aliyah Rishon, the first one is going out of Egypt. What God promised Jacob. One is talking about, I'm going to take you out of Egypt to the land of Israel, and you'll build the Beis Hamikdash. That's the first Aleh Naleh that God promised to Jacob. Aleh, the first Aleh, going up, that means that God said, Jacob, I'm going to take you out of Egypt, going to take you to the land of Israel, you're going to build the temple. And the second elevation, Megalos is talking about now, the exile that we're in now, to the land of Israel, the Geula Mitita Shlema, and a complete total redemption, and the building of the third temple. Nowadays, the Jews that are living in Israel, true, they're in Israel, but their minds, at least the minds of the government in Israel and of the, how do you say, the culture of Israel is not in Israel at all. They're just worried about what is, America going to say and what's this place going to say and what the United Nations are going to say, what the World Health Organization is going to say. So the land of Israel is definitely not the way it's supposed to be now. That's talking about the future redemption is going to be just like the days of going out of Egypt. I will show you miracles. The whole essence and the purpose and the intention of being in Egypt, exile, was in order that the Jewish people would go out of Egypt. They would bring the whole idea of Geula to the world, and then they would receive the Torah, the revealed Torah. Also, this whole long exile that we're in now. In Egypt, we were only 210 years. Now we're in exile for almost 2,000 years. Will be in order to merit to the future redemption and the future revelation of the inside of the Torah that's going to be in the future. That's what King Solomon talked about in the Song of Songs. Rashi explains, right in the beginning of the Song of Songs. King Solomon says, "He will kiss me with the kisses of his mouth." What does it mean? That Rashi explains, King Solomon is talking about God, and God's kissing me with the kisses of his mouth. That's referring to the secret. Muftachim ito, it is promised from God, Lofia, that God will appear to you again and explain the secrets of the Torah. That's what it means, kissing. Because when God gave the Torah, we heard God's speech. Oh, there it is. When God gave the Torah, we heard God speak from his mouth. And future redemption, we're going to feel God kisses of his mouth. God's mouth is going to kiss us. When God gave the Torah, it wasn't necessarily endearment. That was like the engagement. And the consummation of the wedding is going to be when Moshiach comes and opens up the hearts of all of the Jewish people. Then we're going to understand the secrets, the inside of the Torah. Because it's necessary that we have to taste Tom Chaim, that you have to taste the taste of the life of the Torah. That's at the, and it was before Shabbat comes, so you're supposed to taste the food of Shabbat. So right now we have to taste a little bit of these kisses of God, the secrets of the Torah. That's Erev Shabbat to go. Therefore, the Baal Shem Tov and the first Rebbe of Chabad revealed the inside of the Torah and spreading out the well springs of the Torah in this 6,000th year. This began by means of the Baal Shem Tov, and after him the Maggid of Mezrich, in general Torah Chassidut, and after that the teachings of Chassidut came into Chachma Bina V'Dat, came into our understanding. That's Chassidut Chabad by means of the first Rebbe of Chabad. That's what we learn in Lechuti Torah. And especially after Yutet Kislev, when the first Rebbe of Chabad got out of prison, that was the third month also, but that was the third month of the winter months. When God gave the revealed Torah, that was the third month of the summer months. Sivan is the third month of the summer months. There's Nisan and Iyar and Sivan. Sivan is the third. That's the number 3 what Rebbe is talking about. But the revelation of Chassidut was also the third month. It was the third month of the winter months. There's Tishrei, and then Cheshvan, and then there's Kislev, the third month of the summer. That's also the same thing the Rebbe said about the Chazak and 3 and etc. Then number 3, that was hinting at the future redemption. Something like it was, we talked about with the third month, the Sivan, when God gave the Torah, the revealed Torah. That's the third month of the summer months. And our rabbis and those who filled their places, right, and Rebbe's talking about himself, that they revealed Torah Chassidut in the lower world. This is giving a taste of what Moshiach is going to have, but he, Matana Notenas, this gives a reason for a taste, like we said, of the revelation of the inside of the Torah that Moshiach is going to reveal. And just like in the giving of the Torah, in the third month was given the power of Yeturah to Oretz. This was given the power for the Jews afterwards. to scout out the land of Israel, and others to come into Israel and to start making it into a dwelling for God, to transform this physical low world until the world will actually help and reveal godliness. That's what was happened in the land of Israel. Kach also will be by means of the inside of the Torah that was revealed back in by the Alter Rebbe, by the first Rebbe, and spreading it out in a way that it is enclosed and understood in human understanding until even the animal soul understands it. And non-Jews can even understand this idea of the oneness of God and how God is creating them and loves them. That this gives the power that the nature of the world, etc., the nature of the world and everything in it can be vessels for God. Even more, by means of revealing the inside of the Torah, the ideas of Chassidut. Now, and just as the external Torah, which was revealed 3,300 years ago on Mount Sinai in the third month of the summer months, that gave the power to begin to purify the land of Israel. So the future redemption, which is going to purify the whole world, we got also the power in the third month. That was given by the Alter Rebbe when he got out of prison in Kislev. Kislev is the third month of the winter months. That was the power to fix up the whole entire world and reveal godliness in the world. So Chabad is not just an individual religious fringe group, or maybe even a very important religious Jewish group. Chabad is the answer to all of the world's problems, revealing the Creator in the souls and in the minds and in the hearts of every human being in the world, beginning with the Jews, beginning with the Chabad Hasidim. That's what was accomplished by the third month, the Alter Rebbe getting released from prison. It was the same thing that was revealed when God gave the Torah and the Jews went into Israel for the first time. This was the novelty of the giving of the Torah, that the Jewish people had the power, a higher power to reveal godliness in the world. And that was when God gave the Torah. But when it came through the Alter Rebbe, the first Rebbe of Chabad, the Chassidut, this gave the same thing, but more power in the world, even more than it was when God gave the Torah. But this also gave the power and in the concealment, what was concealed in giving of the Torah. When God gave the Torah on Sinai, so inside of it was all the secrets also of the Torah that are now being revealed in Chassidut Chabad. I mean, really, face it, how could it be a person like me can sit and learn all of a sudden about Ak and Akudim and Atzilus and godly levels where I have absolutely no one has any comprehension of it. I mean, that doesn't comfort me. But the fact is, who has a comprehension? What are we talking about? But suddenly we're reading about it, and a little tiny bit you can understand the different levels of godliness. We can understand how infinitely distant the possibility of understanding God is, and how infinitely close is the ability to begin. Approachable God is. That's what happened when the Chassidut was revealed. Suddenly the idea of God can be part of our day-to-day life. That's revealing godliness in the world by means of revealing the secrets, the inside of the Torah. This gives us the power to reveal the inside, so to speak, the inside of God and the inside of the Jewish people in the world. What is a Jew? And that's why it says that all the religions will realize that they've been fed lies, because they were dealing with the external of God. That God is here, and that God reveal and gives the world to come, and that God gives us life. Those external things. So that's all they had. By means of this, sasim delukus, they reveal the inside of God in the world. A dargas hachinal is the highest levels of godliness that are found, which are concealed, like there's richness stored in the earth. The yitrona oretz bekalu, Ad koach ha'atzmos, that the revelation of the essence of God in this physical world. Hagashmi, only in this physical world can it be revealed. So, like we said before, how infinitely important is this physical world to God, and nobody sees it. Nobody sees it. You can't see it. What's going to reveal it? The Torah. The Torah began to reveal it when it was given to Mount Sinai, by Moses on Mount Sinai. All of a sudden, the whole world knew that there's God. The whole world knew that there's absolute truth and that there's a creator and that the creator is very important to God. But nobody knew why. Nobody could figure out why. So all these other religions and philosophies and things popped up right in the world. They said, no, God exists, but it's not what you think. God is really me. I'm really God. You're God. Everyone's God, or some other person. This guy, he's God. You have to believe in him. Or there's spirits, there's powers, that this. Everyone was confused, and you can't blame them because God concealed himself. And the Jews helped God conceal himself, unfortunately. The whole idea of Moshiach, which that began with the first Rebbe of Chabad, that the Moshiach of every generation is the leader of Chabad of that generation. So he started revealing the inside of godliness. It's something like, I mean, I'll give an example. It's a pretty, mundane example, but let's say there's a person that's he's deaf, and he sees someone playing a violin. We gave this example before, and he sees everybody dancing. The guy plays a violin, everybody's dancing, so he's happy. He sees this box with the strings on it, and he has this stick, and he moves it. It makes people happy. So he's happy also. He sees everybody's happy, so he's happy, right? So he's happy. And then come along wise people, other people that are deaf, and they have theories why it is that, a stick run across strings on a box, why it makes people dance. Why it makes people dance. And you can, like, if you put your hand on this box, you can feel vibrations. So they say, well, maybe it's the vibrations goes into the spine. Other people say, no, maybe because it reminds them of the Oedipus complex. The number 4 is like their mother and their father, and then the sister and the brother is going to be, and it makes them dance to get out of the unhappiness that they have. And other people say, no, that's not the reason why. Maybe the reason is just taking a piece of wood and lifting it up. That makes people lift up their, all sorts of different weird theories that they have why it is that when a person plays a violin, people dance and people are happy. Why? Because they're deaf. That's the same thing as the world is now with the Torah and with God. People know that there's God, but they can't exactly figure out what, good and bad and what this whole idea is. And some people say there is no such thing, right? The reason that people dance when you play the violin is because the people are crazy. Only crazy people come, right? That these people have some sort of a fetish. Same thing, religious people. They have some sort of a problem, and that's why they're religious. And all sorts of different ideas. Suddenly, the power of hearing comes. Shema Yisrael. People hear, oh, you hear music. Never heard it before. Oh, now you start dancing from your insides. You don't dance because they're dancing. The music wakes something up inside of you. And that's what Moshiach is going to, that's what Chassidus is. Chassidus is giving everybody the power to hear godliness. Shema Yisrael. Suddenly, everyone in the world feels that God that's talked about in the Torah, that God is creating me. Every human being, the same God creates every human being, is the same God that gave the Torah. That's what we just learned about with the tzitzis, with the strings that come out from the garment, they're the same thing from the garment. But it all comes through the Torah. And the Torah reveals this. And it all comes through the essence of the Torah, the godliness in the Torah. And that's what Chassidut is. That's what we're learning. And suddenly everyone will become activated, happy on their own selves. They'll feel the godliness. They'll feel the music and the beauty, which is in the Torah and in the creation. That's the whole power. This whole idea of Chassidut, because remember, what are we talking about this whole thing? This is Kaf Chet Sivan, the power of Sivan. That's the day that the Rebbe, Lubavitcher Rebbe, who he's the King Moshiach, he came to America and he started revealing the ideas of Chassidut in an outspread way in the lowest place in the world, which we didn't know how low it was until now. I mean, now it's really good, berserk. But Chassidut is the thing that's going to solve it, namely feeling the oneness of God everywhere. That's Yefutzu Ma'anetecha Chutza, and that's what we're going to learn, God willing, tomorrow. And now, Yom Yom. Yom Yom.